and what we had to work with was incredible. But as far as team thing and luck, we had the worst luck ever for this camp. It was incredible how bad it was. But at the end of the day, every camp has problems, and we had our share on this one. But he was ready mentally to go and physically to go. Not 100% physically, but he was ready, and he's as ready as you could be, I guess, when you think about the whole thing.
Are you talking about just the broken foot, or are you talking about other things? And how did this broken foot happen?
Well, other things. I mean, when he first got here, I believe on September 11th, he had the mumps. And
wow.
Mumps. And, so it took him about 2 weeks of training, and he got the mumps, I guess, the day before his father's event in Russia. So he came here with the mumps, and he tried training a couple of days really light, but then he got so sick he had to be hospitalized. So he was in the hospital for 3 days. He comes out, and I'm like going, oh, I'm ready shitting, man. I'm going, oh, man, we're fighting such a great warrior like Justin, and we're already starting off on the bad foot. And I'm like going, this really sucks, So he starts training really light 1 week. And then the second week we had to get some sparring in because, without sparring, you don't know where you're at. So we have one sparring session. He looked okay, not like I wanted him to look, but he looked okay, And the second sparring session, he was looking great. And all of a sudden, midway in the second round, boom, he stops. I go, what the heck happened? Broke his freaking toe. And I'm like, oh, great. Broken toe. Now we have to wait more time, for him to heal before we can start training again. So that really jacked everything up, But at the end of the day, like I said, we all have things that happen, mishap in camp. This was just one of our worst for him. And the one thing he said, 6 days out before the event, he said, Coach, he goes, my toe may be broken, but my mind is not. And we worked on stuff like that forever, from his father to me, that when he said that my mind is not, I already knew that we're winning this fight no matter what. And he looked, in all honesty, his last sparring sessions, he looked fantastic. The last sparring session he had, he sparred with Usman, his cousin, who was a phenom. He looked so incredible. I said, "Oh, we're good. We're good." So really, if things didn't go our way, you wouldn't hear me talking about this, because then we're crying sour grapes, and I didn't want to do that. But due to the fact that he did win, I just stayed out the facts. It was the worst camp for us. And
that's unbelievable.
Injuries and stuff.
That's unbelievable, the mumps and a broken toe. I'm wondering as well, Coach, before we even get to the fight, the weight cut. I mean, it's incredibly difficult to lose that weight if you're not 100%, and also if you've got to deal with the toe and you can't run as much as you usually do. How much did it impact you guys actually trying to make weight for the event? Was there any hurdles in that regard?
No, there wasn't, and that's what shocks me, because look, listen, this is what was going on. We were going to do the weight cut. We started Wednesday. He started Wednesday in the weight cut, and then Thursday, he did a weight cut in the morning, and then we're going to do one later in the evening, but he was only 6 pounds off, right? He was 6 pounds off on Thursday morning. So he said, Coach, I feel strong. I'm not going to do the night workout. I'm just going to go in the morning and do the weight cut and go from there. So I said, if you don't mind, I don't want to go to the final weight cut because it's too early for me. It was like 6:30 when they started the weight cut. He goes, no problem. I'm never there anyways. So all of a sudden, I get up around 9, and I said, hey, how did the weight cut go? And Omar, who I call the fixer, said, oh, perfect. Everything was great. He was strong, the whole bit. So next thing you know, I get all these calls like, hey, what's going on with the weight cut? Did Khabib have problems with weight? And I'm like, what the hell are people talking about? He had no problem. He was right on point. I go, there's no way something went wrong. And then I watched the weigh-in, right? And the guys that were doing the scale thing, man, those guys were like Speedy Gonzalez. What the hell were they doing? That was so damn quick the way they did that. I would think something's up myself personally, because if you watch the weight, which I did watch, Khabib grabbed both those guys' hands, he steps on the scale, and as soon as he releases his hand, those guys are like already, it's like, what the fuck? Because why did they go so fast with the scale? He was on weight. He was on point. But I didn't know why I was getting all these calls. And then I looked and I go, oh, okay, that's why. But if you really, really look, you can see he was on point. But it did look suspicious, no doubt. But it wasn't his fault. That was the people doing the weigh-ins. They were doing it fast. I heard they did it for other people that fast too. So, and then also too, you know, it's like anybody knows, they weigh you before you go to the weigh-ins. They weigh you right before you go out. Okay, they weigh you, so they make sure you're on point. Number one. Number two, if Khabib was having problems weight, why the hell would he be the first one knowing they're going to weigh him? He wouldn't want to be the first one out. He was the first one out because he was on weight and he wanted to get out of there and start eating.